Thank you so much, Kelly, for this opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Dora Taggart. I'm the CEO of a molecular biotech laboratory called Microbial Insights. As an alumna of Vanderbilt University, it's really an honor to be here today and to represent my company. Microbial Insights is an established corporation that was started 33 years ago with the goal of understanding microorganisms and their role in subsurface environments. The company has experienced exponential global growth and performed analysis of over 200,000 environmental samples from all 7 continents. We also have a more than 25-year relationship with NASA and other space affiliates where we've analyzed hundreds of samples from extreme environments. To help our clients, we've had a long-term goal to develop an extraction kit to preserve samples in the field. This technology has numerous advantages for terrestrial samples and even more importance for space, and I'm going to show you that during the presentation today. Our greatest limitation to produce meaningful data has been preserving samples from remote locations and overcoming inevitable shipping delays that are going to happen. When a sample is in transit from a location, the community in the soil or groundwater continues to change. Some microorganisms will grow in abundance during the transit, while others will die and their DNA will be utilized. This results in the sample representing what arrived at the lab rather than the microorganisms that were present in the environment at the time of collection. So why do we even care about microbes in space? Well, as you can see on this complex web, almost any part of a mission to space is impacted by microorganisms. So understanding the microbial community is critical to the evaluation of the current state of the system and, even more important, to troubleshooting effectively when things go wrong. So let me give you a specific example of this need. The Lunar Planetary Institute reached out to us as they are evaluating needs for future Mars missions. In order for humans to colonize Mars, we have to be able to mitigate a compound called perchlorate that is present. The problem is perchlorate, even in very small amounts, is toxic to humans as it interferes with our thyroid. While perchlorate is found here on Earth, the good news is we know the microorganisms that can degrade this compound. In fact, I've co-authored publications about perchlorate remediation in 2006, 14, and 19, as we've continued to understand the degradation pathways and how these microbes can degrade the compound. So in order to colonize Mars, we have to be able to either remediate the compound there with the microbes that are found on Mars, or take organisms there that can do the degradation for us. Bioextract is a tool that gives us a way to monitor and optimize any of these processes that we need. As discussed, ensuring that the data represents the microorganisms on the planet at the time of collection is really critical for space advancement. Transportation of samples from space is even harder than terrestrial, as you might imagine. It can take months or longer, and keeping them frozen during this long transit introduces additional challenges. Losing a single sampling event can be as costly as $1 billion. Yes, you heard that right. It's billion with a B. So protecting that sample, ensuring contamination is not introduced, and then preserving it for transit are critical mission points to understanding any space sample. We need to have terrestrial level validation in these extraterrestrial environments. And don't worry, we have the solution. Bioextract gives us immediate sample preservation. Over the past year, these kits have been validated for use on multiple continents. Scan the QR code on this screen so you can see a current extraction. The results are high quality immediate DNA preservation in the field. This produces DNA that's a stable molecule that can be used for long transits, or it's ready to be used right there on the planet like we need for Mars. The kit has a small footprint and it's very simple to use. Non-scientists on multiple continents where English is not their primary language have been able to follow the directions. So check it out and see what you think. This slide shows just a few companies we feel can benefit from bioextract. Some of them, as I mentioned, are already our customers. So once the space kit is ready, transition to market and validation will be attainable. So what do we need moving forward to develop this space-worthy product? Well, the challenge for bioextract is modifying it for use in micro or zero gravity situations. In order to do that, we plan to collaborate with Space Tango, a company who does space manufacturing and testing, so we can submit for funding. Both of our companies have long histories obtaining funding and creating successful products and analysis as an outcome. The result of this funding will be the creation of our Generation 2 bioextract for space. At that point, we'll use internal company funding to help us launch the product into the space market, or we may explore venture opportunities into this new sector. The leadership team at Microbial Insights is strong and has very specific expertise that, when combined, leads from efficient product modification to successful product launch. Bioextract aligns with our core competencies as well as our core corporate motto and goals. Our team has the needed experience to meet the goals of the mission and will only be strengthened by the partnerships we form. Our biggest need is to form these strategic partnerships with experienced organizations to help us fully realize these opportunities and to find investors who want to add gasoline to the fire and accelerate our market potential. Joining the Space Accelerator was a huge advantage as it opened our eyes to new markets and uses we did not originally anticipate. As I end today, I want to thank everyone for the program and the opportunity. As a company, Microbial Insight strives to innovate and improve our understanding of microbes. On a daily basis, our team works on terrestrial natural disasters or accidents that spill hazardous waste into our groundwater, and we always try to keep in mind the lessons that we learned each day. By using our prior corporate experiences, we can do this for space, and we know that microbes are the key to harnessing the power of the subsurface environment on all planets, and bioextract is the linchpin technology that's going to give us this ability. So I would love to take your questions and have feedback and answer anything that you guys might need. Thank you so much.
Great, Dora. Thank you. Open to any questions or comments. Robert.
Great job. Thank you very much for your great presentation. So Space Tango is also a great company. And can you tell us where you are in that partnership, and have you targeted any specific RFPs that you're looking?
Yeah, great question. So we actually had a meeting last week. We're going to submit for the NASA RFP that just came out for a phase 1 proposal. So we've sent Space Tango up some example extraction kits that we have, and they're looking at what plastics modification and recommendations they have so that we can make sure to incorporate all of that into the proposal submission.
Let us know if we can help with that.
Okay, thank you.
Erock.
Hey, everybody. Erock Christopher. I'm the founder and CEO of Biz Famous Ventures, investor. Have lots, not to say lots, but some very good relationships in the world of VC, especially in the space sector. And also just in some interesting, like, just space companies. And was curious to know, one, when did you acquire the domain? Because that's a fairly, what I'd call, reputable, credible domain. So that's question number one. And then if I'm going to summarize what it is that you do in a soundbite, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but in essence, is you're maintaining the integrity of the test samples that you're bringing for outer space to make sure that the data is not contaminated. Is that a kind of a good summary?
That's correct. So we want to make sure we capture the microbes that are present on the planet and that they haven't changed when trying to get to the analysis point. So that's what these kits will do, is to preserve the DNA and extract it right there on site. And we got the domain, just as an aside, we were formed in 1992 as a technology transfer from UT, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. And our original founder was smart enough, early days of the internet, to go ahead and grab that. So we're lucky to have microbe.com.
Okay, because that's an asset to some extent to show credibility. And then I don't know if this is the venue or forum to get into the financial side of stuff, or do we prefer to keep it like higher level topical stuff? I guess that's a question for you, Kelly.
You can go ahead and ask financial questions.
Is your target audience is going to be other organizations that are going to take you across space? So SpaceX, NASA, are these the clients that you're looking to come in, and are you looking for them to fund or become customers of what you do?
So we already have NASA for one and some other space affiliates as a customer, but we extract the samples and analyze them for them after they get transited back to Earth. And so there's question always, did we introduce microbes? Did the community change while it was being transited to us? What happened? So our goal would be to capture them as a customer immediately, because this kit gives them an immediate need that they have for it. So once it's adapted to space, we'll make that transition. So they'll be a customer. But I think also, grant funding opportunities through NASA would be easy because we do have a relationship and reputation with them already. So that's kind of an easy end for us to get funding. And then it will be expanding that to all the different sectors that maybe we don't work in immediately, to be able to get, different investors or different customers that are interested in those market segments.
All right, cool. I could keep just drilling, but I want to make sure that I reserve time for everybody else. I think Bonnie has her hand up as well, so I just want to be respectful of time.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Bonnie, go ahead.
Dora, what's your competition out there like, and what is the barrier to entry in this? So that's question one. I have two, I guess. And then you said that you process the specimens when they're upon return. So I guess, are you addressing two gaps? Is it pretty much the collection is in the preservation is the primary gap? And then that processing, what is that? And then do you have competition, I guess, in either space?
So the last 33 years, we've been processing environmental samples. So we're experts in analyzing microbial communities in the environment. And one of the barriers we've always had is being able to preserve the sample so it doesn't change while it's getting to us. So we can do that additional analysis. And so our first step in this will be to modify these for the space market, so an adjacent market use for technology we're already using here on Earth. And then the next step, we've got a field quantitation system that we can do field qPCR. That will be kind of phase 2 of what we want to do for this market, is to be able to have that modified for use in space as well, and to automate the entire process more so that it becomes, less and less cumbersome even than it already is. So that's kind of our long-term goals in the space industry. Barrier to entry, there's not a lot of people that do it like we're planning to right now. It's bulky devices that are automated, that require electricity and stable lab settings, and you can put a sample in, and they just aren't as customizable as what you can do with a kit when you're hand doing it. So that's one of our goals, is to take the expertise we've learned and what works for environmental samples, because it's very different than medical, and getting those dirty samples clean enough to have good usable DNA at the end is one of the biggest things we feel like we bring as a competitive advantage to anyone else that might try to do this in the marketplace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Dora, any other words that you want to share, or anything that you want to make sure gets across in the time remaining?
The only other thing I can think is that for our group, it's really important to be able to showcase this device in different sectors other than just with NASA or current customers that we have. And I know there's a lot of uses for a platform like this. So introductions to companies would be important to us, or ways we can validate this product would be very important.
One other comment that I have, and again, I don't know to what extent the accelerator, is training, and again, we're condensed for time, and so this isn't a reflection of just this ecosystem, but always a huge believer of, if you can create some sort of visual imagery of an analogy of what you do, super helpful. So if you can create an association with it, that's fantastic. And I don't know why this popped into my head, partly because I'm watching this with one of my daughters, but we're watching like long lost episodes, the episode of the show Lost, and they pulled out some dynamite, and the dynamite was contaminated, and it caused the dude carrying it to blow up. So that's like, hey, we don't want to have that happen when people do this with space, and you really anchor that. And now every time you probably see dynamite, you'll think about maybe this conversation, and that's hopefully what you want. Either in the investor or the business development space. So that was it. Thanks
very much.
That's a great point. Yeah, the easy association. Bonnie, go ahead.
Yeah, one more comment, and there's some naivety here as to whether it's a need or not. But I would think upon return to Earth, there might be a need for transportation as well. So once it's been to your lab, or if it needs to go elsewhere, ensuring that that transportation is done in such a way that it's continually preserved, I guess. So additional potential capability.
Yeah, usually we're kind of the endpoint of the analysis. There'll be data
Okay.
that, so then there'll be data transfer of the
Mhm.
numbers or genera of organisms identified, that type of thing.
Okay, thanks, Dora.